Hi, welcome to this week's Musings. I hope you're well. How's life treating you? What's been going on? Let me know in the comments. Do share and tell me if you resonated with last week's cards and also just what's been going on. And as I've said before on several occasions, it would be really fantastic if there's a particular question or a particular topic that you would like me to chat about in these musings. Please leave a comment and I'll get to that, and we can certainly build a bank of content that you're really keen on having. So welcome in. I hope all is well with you. This week I'm using the Tarot of the Old Path again. I have gone back to the tarot cards simply because they are really helping me get deeper analysis into stuff that's going on in my own life, and I thought that therefore it would be helpful for you. It's also to help take away the fear a little bit of tarot. I know that quite a lot of people have this irrational fear of tarot cards due to conditioning. Okay, it is something that I grew up with myself, having been brought up in a religious household. That tarot cards were frowned upon as the devil's cards. I can assure you they're not. The intention behind the card reader is what carries the energy. The cards themselves are simply coloured images on card. There's nothing more sinister than that about them. And in fact, that's why I like these particular ones, because they're quite brightly coloured and pretty, so there's nothing scary about them. Maybe if you would like to learn a little bit more about the tarot, you might find your way into one of the tarot courses that I run, just where I really do make it my mission to dispel the fear and to try and get rid of the fear that people carry about these cards. So let me know as well in the comments, do you carry fear about the tarot? Does it make you worry a little bit, or do you worry what people will say? Because I know there's an awful lot of that about as well, where people worry what other people will think of them if they mention they use tarot cards. Remember, nobody needs to know everything about you. Nobody needs to know your private business. And if reading a tarot card in the morning helps you to set yourself up for the day, then who is anyone else to tell you that that is wrong? So just remember that and empower yourself. Remember, we take responsibility for our own thoughts and actions, but we can't control those of other people. Other bits and pieces of news for you. I have cancelled the shamanic classes that were due to start in September, simply due to various reasons, but primarily just due to low numbers really interested this time round, and that happens. And it's one of those things, it's not for everyone, and clearly at this point in time it's just simply not for you at this moment. That having been said, if shamanism is something that speaks to you and you're really keen on doing it, the online courses are still available and they are fully accredited as well. So, you can still jump on board and do that. And of course, if you wish, you can always jump into the mentoring program. I also want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has been supporting Shannon as she works through her case studies, and her little diary has been fully booked this last week, which has been absolutely fantastic. So thank you all. And I know that everyone seems to be really enjoying the sessions with Shannon. So thank you to those that are attending for case studies, and don't forget you can also attend for regular sessions with her. She's also working her way through the crystal healing practitioner course at the moment, so she's hoping to get that under her belt as well. And later this year I've just released a date for the Crystal Reiki Masterclass, which helps to bring crystals and Reiki in together into one practice. It's a masterclass as opposed to being a master course. Details are on social media and also on the website, so have a wee look at that if it's something that interests you. It'll not take place till December, but let me know if it's something that you want to look into. What else do I have to tell you? I am practically fully booked now for August. So again, thank you so very much to everyone who has booked their mentoring and their wellness sessions with me. I have one appointment left at this moment in time at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday the 27th of August. And other than that, I have nothing left in the diary. Do get in touch with me if you do need an appointment, and I'll see if I can add some extra times in for you. But as always, feel free to join the waiting list If you are a mentoring student or a member client, your sessions will roll on each month, so you don't need to rebook, so don't worry about that. And we'll get that sorted out for you. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I have to tell you. I don't think so. I think that's all for now. You may have noticed as well that the creative side and the art side of my life has kind of taken a back seat due to just the demands on my time at the moment, with taking on a little bit of extra work and moving more into a consultant and mentoring role. I haven't really had time to put the brush to the canvas at this moment in time, but I intend to rectify that soon. So hopefully I'll get back to doing that. And I would love also to get into doing some sort of creative workshops and art therapy. So if that's something that would be interesting for you, potentially maybe not this, the rest of this year, maybe into next year, let me know if it's something that speaks to you. And I think that's all I have to tell you for now. Yeah, so let's get on with these cards and see where they take us this week. Four of Cauldrons is the first card that has come up. Okay, so the Four of Cauldrons depicts, this is the tarot of the old path, so it's not the typical Rider-Waite. And this card depicts a lady standing with a big cup, pouring that out into the cup of a man who's lying sleeping at her feet. And it's very symbolic. The imagery on it, if you're watching the video, you'll see the imagery. If you're listening to the pod, the imagery on it is very much, there's an aspect of boredom about this card. There's an aspect of being just numb and emotionally disconnected. The man on the card is sleeping, and it's like she's pouring all her heart into this person who is not remotely interested. But at the same time, I often think that the water can also go up the other way, so is she drawing up his energy and exhausting him? So there's always two sides to the tarot, and that's why I like these cards. What I would say to you is this, when I first saw this card come out, I thought, this is almost like pouring out your heart and feeling drained. And that's what it said to me. Are you feeling drained right now? Do you feel like you're constantly giving of yourself and getting nothing back? Are you always serving other people but not serving yourself? Are you aware of the psychic energy vampires around you that are sucking the energy out of you and the life force out of you? Are you putting adequate protections in place to look after your energy? Do you know what's your energy and what's someone else's? So these are all questions to muse upon and to think about. Are you emotionally connected to yourself? Do you know where you store the emotions in your body? Or do you find yourself going through life and then not sure whether a pain you have picked up is yours or if it belongs to someone else? I feel that we are all becoming more and more sensitive to energy. There are more and more empaths out there. And if you're watching this, you're probably an empath yourself. So you'll know that you pick up other people's energy. It may be very overwhelming for you to be in crowds or to be amongst people that you find, whose energy you find toxic. But yet we have to find ourselves through and live our lives in this world. And sometimes we do feel like we're constantly pouring our heart out. There's another side to this card as well that kind of speaks of being comfortably numb. That you're kind of just settled into a rut and kind of bored. So, which is it for you? Are you feeling bored and unfulfilled? Or are you pouring your heart out all the time and getting nothing in return? Or are you actually drawing the energy up from other people and stealing their energy? Because remember, we have to be responsible for what we do and how we behave. So we have to sometimes take an honest look at where we maybe need to adjust our behaviour. So I'll leave that thought with you. Second card, Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles depicts a man mopping his brow, pentacles hanging in the tree behind him. He looks tired. He's clearly been working really hard. He's got a harvest that's ready to be. It's not quite ready to be harvested yet. The coins are on the tree, but they're not just quite ready to fall, so he's having to wait. So keywords for this card would be, have patience. You have put all the work in, but you have to allow yourself the patience to let things come to fruition. You must allow the harvest to grow. It's, for example, I've recently been trying to grow strawberries, and I've discovered that if you pick them too soon, they don't actually ripen in the bowl. You have to let them ripen on the vine first and then take them off. Otherwise, they're just sour. And it's about finding that right timing as to when to harvest things. And that's what this card's about. Timing. The timing of when you actually reap the benefits of the work you've put in. And sometimes it can feel really frustrating because you think, right, I'm ready now. I'm ready to take the harvest right now. And we just recently had Lunasa, the first harvest festival in the Wheel of the Year. And yet it doesn't sometimes feel like it is harvest time yet. We normally feel that maybe more as we come into sort of the equinox in September for Mabon, and possibly then into the final harvest of Samhain at Halloween. So there's an element, I think, still at the moment where we feel like we're putting all the work in, but we're not quite ready to reap the rewards. It's not quite time yet. And so you might be feeling a bit of frustration. So if you've got this boredom sort of, emotionally unfulfilled card along with having to wait, are you then starting to drag your own energy down? Are you starting to pull yourself into a state of a vibration that you don't really want to be in? And I think that's why this last card has come up, the warning card here of the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles depicting hardship. So it depicts a man standing with his arm around a woman who has her head in her hands. She's upset. His hand is bleeding and bandaged. The tree in the background has 5 pentacles hanging, but the tree looks a bit withered. And it's very much all about their clothes are tattered and torn. This card is about financial hardship, lack, fear, fear of not having enough. This is the card I see come up when people are having thoughts of, I don't have enough. I haven't got enough to survive. I haven't got enough money. And what happens in that instance is when you start focusing on lack, you get more of it, because as we've established throughout the last few months in these musings, whatever energy you put out into the world is what you get straight back. And you get it back times 3 with the law of 3. So if you're putting out fear and I don't have enough, what invariably happens? Your heating breaks down, your car breaks down, kids need new shoes, an unexpected bill comes in, money seems to be flying out quicker than it's coming in. Like, we're all there, we're all in this situation at the moment. And that, the cost of living seems to be, like, bills seem to be skyrocketing, yet income seems to be either stagnant or falling. So, there is this collective fear of hardship and lack and financial ruin. Words like recession are being bandied about. Bank of England are throwing interest rates up. Economists are spreading doom and gloom and fear about the terrible winter we're going to have. We've got all that energy going on around us. So coming back to that very first card that I talked about, are you sucking in that fear and that energy? Are you pulling that into yourself and then allowing yourself to be comfortably numb and just accepting that, oh, well, that's what they say is going to happen, so therefore that's what's going to happen? Are you allowing yourself to live in that fear? Whenever we look back at the middle card, the 7 of Pentacles, we look back and we see, actually, there's an awful lot of abundance there. It's just not available to us at this moment in time. Don't fall into the illusion of thinking that there is not enough. There is always enough. We live in a wildly abundant universe. We just have to access that. We have to access the bounty of energy and natural resources that are around us in a healthy way. Yes, absolutely, we have to pay our bills and keep a roof over our head, and that can be very, very difficult. If you're on low income and everything's coming up even higher, it's very difficult sometimes to find that balance, but there is always a way. And quite often it comes from shifting the attitudes and shifting your thought patterns and shifting perspectives. You know, are you choosing to see the glass as half empty or half full? The actual amount in the glass is exactly the same, but it's a very different vibration depending on how you look at it. And life's the same. So I'll leave you with those thoughts for this week. Share in the comments what's going on with you. Share what spoke to you. If you are having any issues and have fear overwhelming you, you know, share that. Get it out, because sometimes whenever we hold it all in, it actually becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and we feel totally overwhelmed. Whereas we talk about it and we look at it in the you know, the light of day rationally, we can often see that the fear maybe isn't even ours. It's maybe coming from our parents. It's maybe coming from limiting beliefs that we carried with us. And it's also probably coming from the mass media. Okay. So again, take back your power. Shine your light. Okay. Breathe, relax, smile. Focus on the things you have that are the good things in your life, the things that you're grateful for. And that immediately shifts your vibration out of this fear and frustration and boredom into a place where you know the abundance is just sitting waiting for you, and it is yours to harvest when the time is right. So hopefully that has spoken to you. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, there's the blog post, there's the pod for this as well, and it'll also be sent out in the weekly Musings newsletter this evening. I hope to speak to you again next week. Take care, have a great week, and I'll speak to you again then.